Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the FetchQuest podcast. I am your host, Liam, and I am joined by my fellow co-host, Brewer.
Hey, everybody.
And Guy.
That was good.
How is everyone doing?
Well, I'm doing pretty well, and I'm excited to.
But Brewer?
Did he just die?
Yo, guys, it's me, Connor. Did Brewer just turn into flowers?
I guess it was his time.
No!
Connor, how could you miss Brewer's Gamage?
Oh, yeah, that was today, wasn't it? Oopsie poopsie.
I'm next, aren't I?
No, we can stop it.
Oh.
We must go on an expedition.
Nah, dude, I'm not doing this one. I just don't think I'm gonna be able to bring anything to this.
Do it for Brewer.
Come on, Connor, do it for Brewer.
Yeah, Connor, do it for Brewer. You fake Brewer fan.
He's back.
Back.
You're back.
I'm back.
I'm so happy.
Are you ready to go on an expedition?
Yes, we can go on an expedition.
Alright, and that's going to bring us into the topic for today, Expedition 33. That is a name that if you played video games this year, it's very hard to escape hearing about this game because it kind of was everywhere.
It still is everywhere, to be frank.
Yeah, especially with 12 nominations.
12 nominations?
Yeah.
This game must be good or something. I don't know.
But yeah, I'm going to preface this by saying we are about to talk about my favorite video game ever made.
Which is crazy because the game came out this year.
Yeah, and it's that good. I adore this game, and I think everybody here thinks it's a very good game.
I mean,
This is true.
All the super bosses that are bullshit, by the way.
No, they're goated, trust.
Well, fun fights. I mean, just bullshit and how much they kicked my ass.
They do be kicking ass.
But the game is so good. It's so good.
And what is the game? I think we should start with that. And to put it simply, Expedition 33 is a turn-based RPG made by French people. I know, scary, but hear me out. The French made something good. I know that's difficult, but it's true. And it's a turn-based RPG with what's the term? What's the term for the parry and the dodge? Like I know that's has
it's still a turn-based RPG, but it has like action elements.
It has some real-time combat stuff, yeah.
Real-time combat. It's like Mario and Luigi.
Yeah, especially like Paper Mario as well.
Yeah, so it has those kinds of elements. You explore a world called the Continent, and it's filled with very, very funny enemies, creatures, a beautiful soundtrack, and very high-end voice acting. And it's got a very good story too. But the thing that most people play games for is the gameplay, and it is an RPG game, but I would say in terms of like the amount of characters you have, it is kind of limited in terms of like the roster.
Well, I mean, I think that works for it because, like, compared to a lot of the other games or its contemporaries, this game isn't nearly as long. Not to say anything about the quality of the game, because the time you spend with the game is very valuable. But the roster isn't as big, but I feel like that works for like the shorter time compared to other RPGs. Because this isn't a Persona that's going to take you 100 hours to beat. I mean, hell, even platinuming the game wouldn't take you 100 hours. Well, that's before they do any DLC updates, but as of right now, November 2025.
100% of the game in 52 hours, I believe. was my final time of 100%ing it.
Yeah, I think the website's like how long to beat. The average time is around like 60-ish hours.
Mine was around 66 or 67 hours. It was around there for the platinum.
You guys get it? He said 6-7. Do you get it? Do you get it?
Without saying the exact spoiler, it is kind of funny though. A major plot point is actually tied to the number 6-7.
So funny.
It is, unfortunately, it is. But the like synopsis is every year, people of a certain age will die. They will get gommaged, which they just turn into flowers, as Brewer also did. I mean, we're talking to his like ghost right now or something.
Nah, I'm just built different. I came back.
And in order to combat this, the people of Lumiere, which is, you know, the like city or whatever, will go on an expedition to the main continent where the paintress resides, you know, the one who turns all the people into flowers like Brewer, unfortunately. And so you play as Gustav, played by my goat, Charlie Cox, and you are going on an expedition in order to stop the paintress so that people stop dying every year from the paintress. And so that's the premise of the game. And it's one of the greatest cold opens in a video game I've played. It is genuinely insane what it does in the first 2 hours.
It is a very strong hook, especially just like
the
mystery around it, because they don't reveal it to you immediately. You're kind of walking around just wondering like what's this whole event going on for, and then just boom, hits you.
Boom, person turns to flower, person turns to flower, and then this like romance that they're building up between these two characters evaporates in front of him, and he's just got to stand there and take it, and it's insane. I recently rewatched it because I saw another friend play through the first hour, and I was like, man, that's such a good opening.
Oh yeah.
But the gameplay is very cool. I think it's got some very cool like depth to it. You have a move set of 6 moves you can choose from, of like 6 special moves. You have your attack, you have gun, which you can just, it's called free aim, and you can actually just like aim and shoot different parts of the
enemies body,
which are called Nevrons in this game. And certain times they'll have weak points for you to hit, or certain enemies are weaker to free aim. It's a cool mechanic. A little niche, a little gimmicky, but it's still cool.
It's a bit gimmicky. I am surprised how deep it can go, though, because there is like your equipment in the game is called like Pictos, which will give you different buffing effects, and there's actually like a fair amount you can do with like just straight up pulling a gun out on the enemy.
Oh, my final build for one of the characters was I shot someone like 40 times and then hit a move, and then I went again. I shot another 40 times, and then I hit a move, and it did like 8 million damage. It was so funny.
Did that strategy involve a sword called Contorso by any chance?
Yes, it did.
I knew it.
But yeah, the gameplay revolves around those, like, you have 6 moves. Each character has like a different gimmick. Gustav, the character you play as, has a mechanical arm that charges up when you hit an enemy, and if you get 10 charges, it becomes like super charged, super strong, and that's like his gameplay mechanic. And so his moves all of his moves surround that sort of centralized mechanic.
Yeah, the mechanics are very unique for all the characters as well. Like, some of them are like a little more similar to each other, but they all like have their own unique functions, and I'd say every character in this game is very much viable.
Oh yeah,
not just for damage, but also for like support builds and other aspects you may need during your playthrough.
Yes, it is very much a versatile game, because they can learn a lot of moves, but with the enemies, I mean, it's turn-based, so when the enemies take their turn, you are still able to act, and you are able to dodge the move, you are able to parry the move, which will give you AP, which is like the magic system. You need AP to do moves, and if you parry, you get AP. If you dodge, you don't, that kind of thing. And if you parry every single attack, you get a counter, which will deal damage to the enemy. So you are incentivized to counter, but some enemies have Elden Ring level delays on their attacks, and it's so evil.
The enemies literally do just kind of rage bait you half the time.
Yes.
He's like, oh,
and
look,
then
the sword is coming. Oh.
the depth will it gets deeper because then you'll have attacks that you can jump over. There's a different type of attack which you need a designated button to get, and then there's a mechanic that comes later on in the game where you have a meter that you charge that gives you access to very strong abilities, but you need to. It's not something that you can like immediately gain access to. You either have to attack or parry in order to build up that meter.
Oh yeah.
What I love about these mechanics in particular is that they flow together so well, and they don't overstay their welcome, because like in the beginning of the game when you do the first battle, the tutorial, you learn how to parry, you learn how to dodge. It's very simple, the two basic things you need. Then they start implementing new things, like they start implementing the jump and then the gradient counter and then the gradient attacks, such like that. And what's so fun is that not only is the game allowing you time to learn like these different mechanics on how to deal with enemy attacks, they start splicing them together. Like I remember there's a boss later in the game where what she does is that she sends out like giant projectiles that no, not projectiles. She summons enemies to come and hit you, and they do like a little curved movement, like that's delayed movement a little bit to like make you kind of like on your toes on when to parry. Then these other enemies will cause an earthquake where you have to jump. So you need to be able to go in between parrying correctly and then jumping to get optimal damage. It's such a fun and unique balance that I don't really see a lot of games do nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I was my little rant on that. I love it.
No, it's very cool because I think the audio design of the game also works very well with the combat of the game, because the enemies are designed where the timing windows are also in line with the parry mechanic, so you could kind of keep your eyes closed and still be able to parry the enemies, because the audio design is made in a way to where the audio lines with parry timing, and I think that's a very cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it applies to every enemy, because some of them, especially like one of the notable super bosses, you can't exactly time it from sound cue, but sound cues were a big way that I timed my parries throughout the game, especially like when it was my first time going up against the boss and I didn't know like what they were about to do. A lot of times I would just listen for like the swing of a sword or something and then parry, because especially like on the higher difficulty on like expert mode, the timing is very strict. You'll get your ass whooped if you don't time it right.
Yes, exactly. And there is, I mean, like most of the game is either combat or exploration, and so the exploration is very simple. You get to move around, you get to run, and you get very you can like collect items. There's like simple puzzles. You still have access to your frame, so you can still you get like there's like kind of like the God of War runes for chests, and those are very important.
Oh yeah, definitely. It does help with the build variety as well, because along with the diversity with the characters and their movesets, you have a lot you can do with how exactly you want to build the characters, especially because the combat in this game is crazy enough to where there's like a piece of equipment you can put on that will automatically kill you, and that can actually be a good thing. Like, it's kind of crazy.
It's so funny. It's
the nuke.
Oh yeah, the nuke.
Yeah, the Pictos in this game are so varied in terms of what they can do. You have Pictos that let you have 2 turns in a row, which is of course very strong. You have a Pictos where you start with buffs, or whenever you apply a buff or a debuff, it's a greater version of that, so you get like even better buffs. There's one where every time you shoot an enemy with the free aim, you have like a 20% chance to refund an AP, or whenever you can take several. Every time you do an attack, you'll hit multiple attacks for one attack, which is a pretty cool one. And there are like so many builds that can derive from these Pictos. They are a very core mechanic of the game, and there's an in-lore reason for why they exist too, which I think is very cool.
Oh yeah. Well, especially in
One of
the
the
reason
reasons.
as well that like once you learn a Pictos, like you level it up, you can use these currency called like Lumina points to like even if you don't have them directly equipped, you can still get the benefits of the Pictos just without the stats. So it makes it a balance to where like okay maybe this one character they're gonna put on this Pictos that's usually a bit more expensive, and then I can put some Lumina points on more minor skills like the free aim stuff Liam was mentioning. Marking shots was a personal favorite of mine. Just small chance to mark an enemy when you shoot them, which will let you do a lot of extra damage if you comboed it into other characters. There's a lot you can do with this system.
Me personally, I like the Pictus that makes you kill yourself at the start of the fight.
That one is pretty
Oh,
funny.
I had a build with one of the characters where I killed myself, revived myself, and so when I killed myself, I debuffed the entire enemies and buffed my own team. And then when I revived myself, I got buffs and buffed my team, and it was really
Oh my
fun.
god, I did that exact same thing because also there's a lot of extra small mechanics in this game you'll find out about over time, and some of them you don't even have to really worry about. But one of them is like a break bar. As you damage an enemy over time, you'll do break damage, and depending on your actions, you can do more or less. But one of the funniest Pictos in the game is when your character dies, you can automatically fill up that break bar and then capitalize on it. So
It's so broken.
I could use the auto death. Oh man, I'm dead. Would immediately revive because of another Pictos, and then boom, immediately break the enemy and do a crap ton of damage.
There's so much build variety with the Pictos alone, and then on top of that, you had the weapons in the game, and every single weapon has 3 different aspects of them that you get from leveling up the weapon that changes how your specific character plays. So, like, you could have a build where it's very much geared towards doing, like, applying effects to someone, like with the mark effect or burning someone, or one of my personal favorites was one of the characters you start in the most powerful stance. So me, I just started in the most powerful stance, did my big one-shot move, and then duped the entire enemy, and then I won.
Yeah, no, that character in particular, my L, because I used her as well. Most of the game, I spent just one-shotting using her skills. It's like
Yeah,
early game,
that's,
I one-shot with this skill. End game, I chose a different skill that also would one-shot.
Yeah, so it like to go like more into the gameplay with like this different characters, which we'll dive deeper into the characters later, but I sort of just want to talk about like how each character like kind of has their own different like each has their own unique play style, which I think is like really cool and really interesting and really helps them feel like like different from each other because like something I think a lot of turn-based RPGs can like fall into is like that whole thing of like, oh, your different party members just use different elements. So, like, this person just uses electric damage, this person uses fire damage, this person uses ice damage, and so on and so forth. But whereas like in this game, each one is just a completely different like play style and has their own like different niche. So like CL's whole thing is about like building up like little charges and then being able to like swap into like a different form and just absolutely go ballistic with those charges. Lune's all about like dealing elemental damage and stuff like that, and Mael's niche is nuking a small continent.
Yeah,
And here's
it's
the
kind of crazy because
yeah.
Mile has 3 stances. She has offensive stance, defensive stance, and virtuose stance. But the thing
Shout out
is,
to
like,
the Watcher.
virtuose stance is like so cracked that like I hardly ever utilize the other stances.
Yeah, especially because it's like, sorry, yeah. But I was gonna say is like, especially considering like very early on, you just get a weapon that automatically always starts Mael in virtuose stance.
Yep, it's the weapon that I found out that it was the weapon, and then I immediately was like, okay, I'm never switching weapons on her. I never switched weapons on her, and my entire game plan sometimes was just nuke enemy, get back to virtuoso stance, nuke another enemy, and that was.
I mean, yeah.
And
Also,
especially later on, whenever you get a certain kick burst, which basically required for late game, that number gets very, very high.
yeah. Shout out to the Watcher from Slay the Spire, by the way.
Hey,
One
that's
thing-
a really niche reference.
One thing I want to mention as well is that each character has their own gimmicks, and then the weapons themselves pair up with those gimmicks as well to like create such unique playstyles that can either they differ in what you're able to do with it. So like my favorite character, Verso, he has how his ability works is that he has something called the perfection meter, which is basically just the score system in Devil May Cry, where you go from D all the way to S rank. But the more ranks you climb, the higher damage he does. But if he takes any damage, then he is just going to climb down ranks, hence why it's called perfection. There are weapons that can either lean into the perfection, that either lean on him taking damage. There are either ones that start him out in S rank, but he can't heal. There's a massive drawback. One of the more interesting ones, I never used it personally, but I think it's very interesting how it works. It keeps him in B rank, so he gets double damage permanently. It'll always stay like that, but because it starts him in B rank, he can't move up ranks, so he's just stuck like that. But that's the thing, if you want to use Verso, that's just a consistent way to do it. If you want to be a little more risky, you could do the one that starts him in S rank but he can't heal. There's one that there's a really funny build that you can do with him that I used, where you can just start him off at 1 HP. Yeah, he's gonna get one shot to everything, but he starts in A rank if you do it, so I don't know, man, the damage is right there.
Well, especially since he has the move that the lower the health he is, the more damage he does on his attack.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Personally, my favorite one was the S rank one, where I would start in S rank but couldn't be able to heal, and then my entire like strategy was just like, because I also gave him like a bunch of like stuff and speed, so I would just almost at every start of every battle be able to use the move that drops you to 1 HP, and then also get a berserk slash off and just like nuke my enemies. It was really funny.
Let's all go around and say our favorite Verso build.
Dually so. I mean, obviously that weapon isn't good end game, but start of the game close to start of the game when you get it, yeah, it's busted.
I'm such a big fan of I'm gonna shoot. Machine Gun Verso was something that I found, thought was the funniest thing in the world, and never stopped using it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's where you use you just keep you set up Pictos on him where he just percentage chance over and over again to gain AP after every free aim shot, and then after you get to a certain point, you just use I forget what the move's called, but basically it does damage scale based on how many free aim shots he uses in the turn. Follow up. So if you do like 40 or 50 shots, you're doing a crap ton of damage on that follow up.
There are so many ways just to nuke the enemies in this game.
This is just one character out of 6 that has very different abilities and very different ways. Like, we're talking about 2 of the more I'd say they're stronger characters just because they have I think they have easier ways to build them, but one of my personal favorite builds was the Lune Skybreak build, which was very funny. And Lune's whole thing is she's like the element character. She gets things called stains every time she uses a move, and she has fire, earth, lightning, and ice stains, and certain moves get buffed based on what stains she has. But the build that I was going for with Lune was I build up my gradient meter, which was the meter I was talking about earlier. It's basically like a super meter. And I build it up really quickly with Verso free aim shots because it builds up a gradient very quickly, and then I use Lune Skybreak because it immediately hits everybody's break meter, fills it up, and then breaks them. So after I do the attack, I get to attack again.
Oh yeah, you'll have to see it.
There was a setup I had that I've been doing in my New Game Plus run, where I have a character named Monoko. I abuse every single Pictos in the game that increases the amount of gradient I get off like getting a buff, doing damage, doing this, yada yada. And basically, if I'm up against a single enemy, I have found a way to get an infinite to where they cannot move because I keep breaking them over and over again with Monoko's level 3 gradient. It's so funny.
Monoko is very funny, especially because he is a feet fiend. Like, he collects feet. That's his thing.
That is canon.
Especially because he's in the party with a woman who doesn't wear shoes.
What mighty feet.
It's only Nevron feet. So he's like an extra layer of freak.
Yeah, there is literally an achievement like called the Foot Collector. For collecting.
There's no way they didn't do that on purpose. There's no way they didn't do that.
They did it on purpose. They did it on purpose.
I mean, I don't see how you could do that not on purpose.
I just want to say,
I can't believe I accidentally made this character love collecting feet. Dang it.
I just want to say right now that there's a battle line he has where he says, "What beautiful feet." What's really funny about this is that the main antagonist of the game, the person they're trying to go after, the Paintress, is shoeless with her dogs out. So, I don't know, man. I don't know what kind of messaging they were wanting there.
I think that's why Monoko joined the party, honestly. It wasn't...
So we can get some feet.
Yeah, it's just so he could get the Paintress feet.
Kind of real, though.
I absolutely love that he comments about her feet whenever you're walking towards her. It's so funny. I stopped and cackled.
That we're mentioning it. Do we want to talk about a little bit of the setting in this world, because it's very interesting on top of the characters as well.
Honestly, yeah, we're kind of getting to that point.
Should we do a spoiler warning then, or is that?
We can still delay it a little bit.
Alrighty, no spoiler warning, but we'll talk about the world, or I feel like mostly the continent. Well, mostly the continent, because the continent is where you spend 99% of the game, and it's a very I love the difference between you have an overworld where it's a far away angled camera, and you walk around this map going to different swirly chroma swirls, I don't know what they call them, and then you enter into the location, which is a little mini area for you to explore, and each one is very artistically different, and some of them are literally just you walk in, you get an item, and you leave, and then other ones you're there for 2 hours.
Yeah. I do want to mention real quick, I do really like the overworld in this game, because one thing a lot of older RPGs had, let's say Secret of Mana, some of the Final Fantasies, they had a giant overworld you would explore and then go into those more concentrated areas. But then you'd also have some crazy means of transport, something to fly you across the map later in the game, or to let you swim it and stuff. Final Fantasy VII had that, Secret of Mana had that, and this game has SKA, which is really funny.
Sometimes I feel wee, and sometimes I feel woo.
But yeah, no, I completely agree with you, Brewer. My only sort of I guess, and this is more, not really an issue of the world, but something I do kind of wish they had done is because as Liam said, a lot of the times most of these areas are going to be pretty big areas and stuff like that, especially the story ones. I feel I just sometimes wish they would have had like a little mini map or something, or like a
Oh yeah,
map
I know
for
what
those
you're talking about.
areas.
There's a map for the overworld, but not one for the air, dedicated areas you go to. I do kind of wish there was a map for some of them, even if it was like basic vector, like just line
Yeah,
map.
yeah, exactly. Like
Especially because it is very easy to miss some of like some really good Pictoses in the game.
yeah, and I did get stuck like one time in this one area just because like again I just could not find it was like a big sort of like maze-ish area, so I just got stuck there and I was like, and then when I found it, I was like, oh okay, that makes sense. But I do wish there was like a map, especially because I just feel like it's weird to have a map for the giant overworld but not like some like sort of basic map for these smaller areas.
I kind of have like, okay,
It is a little odd.
it is kind of like it is a similar issue I have where these mini areas, they're linear for the most part, so I don't really have like the biggest issue. When I was beginning the game, I will say I was starting to like get annoyed a little bit because I was just wanting to make sure that like I want to get everything. I want to get every picto. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. I want to get any secret super mini bosses potentially that could give me even more pictos, etc. But honestly, as time went on, I kind of got used to it, and I didn't really feel like it mattered all too much. Again, that could be just me getting used to it more, or that could just be that like I think the levels are like well designed enough to where like you don't need it, which you don't, you really don't. But like I do get that like that nitpick of like, yeah, it would make navigation a lot easier.
But like some of the smaller areas, I would definitely agree on that because some of them are pretty much like, here's the area, there's a mini boss over that way that will wreck your shit. And then if you go to like the left and right side of it, then you'll find maybe a couple Lumina points or a Pictos. But a lot of the bigger areas, it is pretty easy to miss some stuff.
Yeah, I agree with Brewer.
Yeah, so I do kind of wish they would have had that map. Like they give you enough Pictoses to where like when you're playing through the main story, you definitely won't notice it. But I feel like if you're trying to like go for everything, or just in general you want to mess around with different builds as much as possible, it would have been a nice feature to have.
Unironically,
It's just kind of a weird thing they didn't include for how big the scope of the game is.
Unironically, the Picto that I missed out on because of the lack of this feature, you're not going to believe it. It was auto death, the suicide one.
I went back and got that in Act 3 because I missed it, and then I was like, I kind of want auto death, so it was the only Pictos I looked up where to find it and then it was tucked away in a corner with a funny gestural man.
That is something you just mentioned to Axe, and I do want to go into that a little because with the setting in this world, like before we get into a spoiler section, the game is split into a couple different acts, and each act like slowly reveals more about the world because again, it has a very good hook of beginning of the game, your lover right in front of you, it disappears before your eyes while this like menacing figure in the background has like a time like a ticking clock going down. I did not word that great, but it's very good to just get you interested in the plot and the whole mission of the expeditioners of, okay, we got to stop this crazy paintress. What does the paintress do? Who knows? But just in general, I really enjoy this type of world building where they don't always just like directly tell the audience everything about the world. They let you experience the world to like naturally make your own conclusions about it. Because I feel like it'd kind of be like, let's say we were characters in a story, and
What do you
for
mean
some,
we
for,
are?
to some
You
people.
literally got gomaged.
Yeah. But let's say in the real world, I was like randomly started talking about like how oxygen is a very necessary thing for our bodies. That would be kind of weird. And like if the characters in a fictional world started doing that, but with their like kind of fictional needs, then I would also find that a bit off-putting. But this game, minus like maybe one or two instances, doesn't really do that, and I enjoy it a lot more for that.
Yeah, it doesn't have any like needless exposition.
It does a really good job of. It does an excellent job of show don't tell. I agree with you on that, Brewer, because like there were just a lot of cutscenes as well. Like I'm thinking about it now. Now that you've said this, there are a lot of cutscenes where just characters really aren't saying a lot. like, no, not saying that there's a lack of dialogue. It's just that like the actions that are being performed in front of us, and we are alongside the characters reacting to the situation and what's going on, because we know as much as they do in their world. And I think the game does an excellent job of balancing, like, keeping the mystery of what exactly this world is while also telling you what you need to know to like properly progress.
Yeah, especially because again, the setting is very interesting, not just like for the hook, but also the environments as well, because you'll see like a lot of floating structures, environment where there's a bunch of giant floating glowy swords stuck in the ground, and some very pretty ones too that have like some marine life swimming around, while for some reason you can just stand around there, so you just kind of wonder the whole time, it's like, what is going on in this world?
One of my favorite things.
The environments are so cool. I love the one you're talking about, the underwater location. It's got like the floating mines everywhere. Like you can see that the water, there is like a surface, but you can't see above it because the water is like murky enough to where you can see the light shining through, but you don't know what's up there. And so it's very fantastical in nature. It makes sense in a fantastical setting, but it's like where's the correlation to what's going on? And it does make sense, but it's also just sometimes they just made pretty stuff because it was pretty, and I am a very big fan of that.
Yeah. Well, and again, with the big reveals later on, like, it does all make sense as well. So like it doesn't feel like they're just cheating with some of the rules of the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and it's a very cohesive world.
Oh,
I watched a review about a week ago of this game that I very, very much disagree on, where they said that the rules of the world felt as if they were kind of being made up as the game was going on. And I'm gonna be real, like I just kind of don't agree with that, because like obviously like it's very different. It's a fantastical world, it's not ours, yada yada, so they do have to make new rules. But it's also just like I don't think that's doing the game like enough justice in terms of like what's doing with its world building and just trying to like tell you with its environments, with its people, with its NPCs, its enemies, and the implications of that. I don't know, like that's just kind of I feel like I had to say that because like that kind of got on my nerves a little bit, because I'm like, did you pass the media literacy test?
Yeah, I would.
Guy, when one person criticizes a game he likes, how could they say that?
True.
That's the thing I like. If you don't like what I like, you're the problem.
Guys typing all this while sitting on an SKA beanbag chair with an Expedition 33 poster on his wall, with an Expedition 33 cosplay on, an Expedition 33 replica sword,
and an Expedition 33 an Expedition 33 coffee mug with gamer subs in it.
And it just so happens that I'm wearing my Expedition 33 shirt that says, I paused my Expedition 33 to be here. I'm currently wearing that.
Yeah. While his Expedition 33 butt plug vibrates to the beat of the game's soundtrack.
That should be bussin', holy shit.
I was about to say, dude, Guy wouldn't be able to get out a word.
Yeah,
Guy would not work.
Guy would not be here right now. He would be busy.
Damn straight.
He would leave his bed again. He would be bedridden.
Yeah, but I think this is a good enough segue. We can go from butt plug to the beat of music to talking about the music of the game, because the soundtrack of this game, we can just like go ahead and say it's incredible.
It's so good.
It is. Yeah, I have played a lot of games this year, a lot of which have great soundtracks: Silk Song, Hades 2, Sword of the Sea, a bunch of other stuff like that. But I will say this has been my personal favorite soundtrack of the year, and it definitely is probably in like my top like 15 or 20 soundtracks of all time.
It's the best soundtrack.
Bro, it's in top 3 for me.
It's top it's top 2, and it's not number 2.
The crazy thing about like this as well, for how acclaimed it is, and not just soundtrack but also story and a lot of other elements of this game. This game was a debut indie game. Like, this was a studio's first game made by a team of like 30 people. The writer, they found him on Reddit, and the main composer, William Testor, I think that's how his name is pronounced. He's a SoundCloud artist, or like was a SoundCloud artist, and they just like yoink.
They yoinked him off of SoundCloud, and the woman who sings most of like the songs, she's a teacher.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, this is like sort of what the like what I have to like give him props to for the like the directors and stuff like that, because I mean, Guy and Liam, you know more about this than I do, but correct me if I'm wrong, the at least main directors were ex-Ubisoft employees, right?
They were.
Yes.
Poor bastards.
So the main director of the game, I did some deep diving on this. He used to work at Ubisoft as, I'm not kidding, as the manager of lore consistency for a Ubisoft Gacha mobile game. That was his job. To write the lore for that. And what's really unfortunate is that he was very experienced in Unreal 4 as an engine and like how to develop games in there. And so he eventually left Ubisoft because he had a vision for a game, which would be Expedition 33, to make an RPG using Unreal 4 in a way that hasn't really been done before. And what happened is that he had this vision, and in 2020, he released his first video of a demo for the game, which was made in Unreal 4. And it still looked fun. It kept some of the like same concepts of like the parrying system, the dodging system, the AP system, etc. But he basically was just saying, "Hey, I'm looking for people to work on this game with me. If you want to work on it and you think you're experienced enough, go for it." And eventually they switched to Unreal 5 because they think it'd be better for like their vision, which I'm glad they did. But yeah, no, literally came from scraps.
Yeah, and I that is one thing I will always like give props to for this game, is that it took a lot of effort and a lot of talent to make something that was as good as this, and despite some flaws I have with it, I do genuinely like respect the team behind it a lot.
Yeah.
And
I guess quickly, I want to correct something I said. Lorien was the music teacher. He was a music teacher, and this was like, he was not an experienced composer. So there were 3 main people that worked on the music. It was Lorien Testard, Alice Duport, I don't know how to pronounce that, Piercer, and then some other guy. I don't know his name, but those 3 are like the main people. It was basically 3 people that were like behind the composition of the music.
Yeah, and I really like, which is really insane to me, because like this soundtrack is genuinely like really good, and by far my favorite part of it is the way they utilize like I can't remember the exact word. It's like, I think it's either
leitmotifs
or no genre switching or genre
melding.
Like melding. Yeah, genre melding. I think that's.
Yeah, I get you, Colin. Same wavelength.
Yeah, exactly. Because great minds think alike, Liam.
Yeah,
but I think just it genuinely is masterful, because you will have some songs like there's this boss fight in Act 1 where it's just like, you know, kind of standard or not really standard, but it's just like, you know, like what you would expect for like an RPG boss, and then it like shifts into this like electro sort of like
kind of techno.
Yes, techno synth music. And when I first heard that, I was like, whoa.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about, because it's in like that little underwater area as well.
Go Blue.
Yeah, Go Blue.
Yeah, Go Blue.
I love Go Blue.
There's
like,
so many insane genre shifts. My absolute goat, Minoko, has Gregorian throat singing for his thing, for the start of his song, and then transitions into neo jazz And it's
Yeah, it's
so good.
Personally, for me, whenever you find those like creepy ass mimes around the world, I like when the accordion plays on that.
Ooh, good. I like that too.
They have a good variety of instruments. Like along with the accordion, like piano plays a very big part in like story as well, but also just a lot of the general themes. That like saxophone and cello get some work in there as well, and majority of the songs have like a big chorus behind them as well.
Thank you, Alice Duport Piercier, for having one of the most beautiful voices I have ever heard.
So true.
French people might be okay.
French people have been redeemed.
Honestly,
Expedition 33 didn't revive the RPG genre, it revived French people.
Yeah, every French person was dead before this game came out.
Exactly. I can't believe French people thought that they could exist before this game came out. Like, come on.
Game's so good, it game's so good it created French people.
What? The Eiffel Tower? You mean that thing from Expedition
You mean
33?
the thing from Lumiere?
Why is the tower in Lumiere straight? What the hell?
Yeah, but
dude, they turned the language from Expedition 33 singing into real life.
True.
They turned baguette into a real food. I'm so excited.
Dude, you're telling me that they made mime outfits real?
Mimes are real? Oh, that's scary. I hope they don't hit me with an invisible hammer.
Oh,
wait, they made
it putting up their wall.
Wait, they made a sport out of those Patank enemies? Whoa. That's a real thing, by the way. They're based off of a sport.
I know.
Yeah.
It's pretty. What's the sport called?
But I want to like go back into like actual music. I think when I first heard, I think it was like Go Blue. When I heard that like boss thing for the first time, I was like, this OST is gonna be something special, and it really is. Like, not only is it just like consistently like banger after banger, especially in the later boss fights, it's also a lot. Like there's like there's like
over 8 hours of tracks.
154 songs.
Yeah, and they're not like short. There are some of them which are like up to 10, 13 minutes long.
Let's see. I see a 5 minute. I see several 4 minutes.
Do you see a 6 or a 7 one?
I see 11 minutes.
Shut up!
One of the best
6,
songs.
7 plays a large part in this game's story, Connor.
It does.
6 minutes, 9 minutes. Oh my, there are some long songs in here.
Is there potentially an 11 minutes next to the 9 minutes?
Yeah, there's a 9 minutes and then there's 11 minutes.
That's
awesome.
Whoa.
The 11-minute song is one of my personal favorites. That's,
like
Un Ve Pondre.
Dude, that song's banger. But
oh yeah, is that the final boss theme?
Yes.
My personal favorite is not the Act 2 boss ending boss theme, but the boss right before that. That is my personal favorite.
I think I know what you're talking
that
about.
one is up there for me.
My favorite.
We should talk about our
Roads de Iris.
We should talk about our personal.
I don't know the name of it.
You fight like a weird cloth snake.
Mine is in the one of.
It's a refiber.
Axon. Mine is in one of the Axon locations.
Nice.
And it's the Gone Away.
Yes, I'm so glad you mentioned that because that's one of my favorites.
It's so good. And then in one of the final locations of the game, you hear it again, and it's just like every time I heard it, I was like, okay, I gotta fight this enemy now because I want to hear it. It's just.
I remember you were we were hanging out over summer at the beach, and I was doing that final area, and then the song just came on. And I was like, I'm just gonna leave this on for a minute so we can just listen to the music because it's that good.
The soundtrack of this game is genuinely like generational. It's like I'm gonna just glaze it to hell because it's genuinely like the combination of all the instruments used, because it's mostly like piano, guitar, and then like orchestral music, which is really cool because like we said, Lorian Testart is very inexperienced when it comes to composing. So he very much just went, I'm gonna make a very simple melody and then I'm gonna give it to someone else and they're gonna turn it into an orchestra, and it worked so well that now they are like globally touring, and I really want to go see them live because it sounds like a once in a lifetime experience. And I need to bring this up. They got snubbed at the Grammys, and instead of them getting nominated, Star Wars Outlaws got nominated for Best Video Game Soundtrack.
When it comes to...
I mean, that entire Grammys thing is a snub on just every front. The only game that I think should be on there is the fucking Sword of the Sea. And that's just
which is really unfortunate because the Sword of the Sea developer was like, yeah, why am I here? Expedition 33 should be here.
Yeah. No, anytime the Grammys try to do anything with video games, it's very obvious they don't have people who know anything about video games. Like, for as much as we rag on like some award shows like the Game Awards for not knowing what they're doing sometimes, like they at least have some knowledge.
They at least play video games.
They know some ball.
Yeah, and to like just keep something that I think the Expedition 33 soundtrack does really well is how, which while not unique to this game, because I've played other games that do this too, but where you'll have like a main like sort of overworld theme for the area you're in, and then when you go to and you get in combat, it'll then change to like a battle theme version of that overworld theme, which I think is very cool.
Oh yeah.
To go alongside that, every area in the game has its own unique battle theme, which I think is insane, by the way. Most AAA video games of like this nature don't even have dedicated battle themes for their areas. My favorite game of all time is a turn-based RPG. The music is baller, don't get me wrong. Also in my top 3, Persona 5. But even it doesn't do this, and I'm like, holy god.
You get 2 songs.
I mean, to be fair, those songs are great.
They're bangers, but they're 2 songs.
Yeah.
You know, I think we've definitely praised the music a lot because it's a very, very good soundtrack that should win Game of the Year soundtrack, best soundtrack. Anyways, I think we should like kind of start going into probably the like biggest standout for this game, which is the characters and the story, because it is it's an insane story. I feel like that's the best way to describe it. It's just insane what they do with this story, and the character writing is also insane because we'll start with, they have Ben Starr who plays like Clive. He's Jimbo from Balatro. You have Jennifer English who is Shadowheart in Baldur's Gate 3, and then Andy Serkis and Charlie Cox. Andy Serkis as Gollum, and Charlie Cox as Daredevil. These are like accomplished actors. With Charlie Cox, he didn't know what the game was. He just got like an email from his agent being like, hey, you should do this, it will be quick. He recorded all of his lines in one day, I think in about 4 hours, and he is now up for a nomination of Best Voice Acting for Game of the Year. He still doesn't know what the game is about because he just doesn't play video games. Like everyone's like congratulating him for his role as Gustav, and he's just like, I'm so happy, but like I did not know what I was doing.
Well, I will say he has said he's going to play the game at some point just so he can actually like, see what the hype's about.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with voice actors, like even if they play like a large part in the game, the level to which each one knows about what's going on is a bit different. Which, I mean, it makes sense, especially for like everyone has their own different acting style. So some of them want to get way more invested, and other ones they do a better job when they maybe don't know as much.
Yeah, honestly,
the voice acting in this game is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Personally,
oh, sorry.
my favorite is probably either Jennifer English or Andy Serkis. They absolutely kill it.
Andy Serkis did a really good job, especially because me and Guy actually got to see him like live one time at a convention called GalaxyCon, and Guy went up there to ask a question, and I don't want to say what his answer was, but like after playing through the game and going back to that little recording we had of his answer, like he very much knew the character he was playing and like had a very good introspective look into what mattered for that character and what their motivations were.
Yeah, no, like, dude, I'm so glad I got to meet Andy Serkis. That was so much fun. I got his autograph and I got to go to his Q&A. That was so much fun. Excellent human being. If you ever get to meet him, do it. But yeah, no, like, Andy Serkis absolutely killed it, which is crazy because he plays an antagonist in this game, and yet he's like the nicest person in real life. It was such a like funny juxtaposition.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's very funny.
Yeah, and then obviously Jennifer English like just always does a great job with her VA roles.
Yes, like we said, the cast is very stacked, and the writing complements the acting very well because these are very human characters. These are all flawed individuals who have very much like human motivation that is propelling them forward. They're like they argue with each other, they interrupt each other. These are not like some video games are like really cool, but like and like really good voice acting. But I think having like that natural conversation between two people, because two people having a conversation is not going to be blah 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 blah. It's gonna be they're gonna interrupt each other, they're gonna talk over each other, and I think Expedition 33 captures that feeling very well because these people are like they feel real.
It's just like my favorite show, Smiling Friends.
Exactly.
True, realistic dialogue.
Yes, realistic dialogue is very good, and I think all of these characters are so good at conveying like what they feel. Like Gustav is he's a very awesome guy, but his whole motivation, he doesn't want to save everyone. He wants to protect Mael. Mael is his goal. He is like a big brother to her, big brother, father.
Yeah.
He has a familiar role with Mael, and his main priority is to save her, and that goal clashes with Lune's goal, which is the goal of the expedition, to defeat the Paintress no matter what happens, no matter who falls, and like those ideals clash very organically, and that's all in Act 1. Like it gets even more insane the further you go.
Yeah, no, because even through like just Act 1 as well, like Gustav, the protagonist of the game, like he isn't like the standard protagonist with like the goal of just like save the world. Like he questions his own goals even like very early on as well.
Yeah, I really like how his character arc like plays out through the game, and like especially in like the later like segments where you just see that arc come to like its beautiful conclusion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where he has to choose between like you know what I'm talking about, the fight for my friends moment. Yeah, no, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, like personally, like Gustav wasn't my favorite character, but he's definitely up there. Like I think my favorite was probably Mael, though. I just think her character arc of like, and like her just character of like how she's moving on from grief through losing a bunch of her friends and stuff through the Gamage, and just how she tackles that and keeps pushing forward to like just figure out what her purpose is. I think is great.
I really like the Minoko, the dude who goes like I like feet for reasons.
Yeah,
Because he's literally your D&D character that we're doing right now.
Yeah, I do have a D&D character that's a feet fetishist or freak about it.
The Freak Knight, right?
The Freak Knight, yes, he is the Freak Knight.
He's awesome.
His uncle is someone named Kojima.
Oh, it makes sense now. But something I think I do want to go into, like with the character stuff, is how all the like a bunch of other RPGs, this game does have like a social link aspect to it, where you can have like independent discussions with like the main character and whatever character you want to, and it goes from like 1 to, I think it's like 7. I think that's the highest it goes.
Yes,
and
7 is the highest.
Yeah, it's 6 or 7, one of those.
Exactly.
True.
And as the system typically plays out in other games, it's sort of like this like mini plot line, but where you get like a lot more insight to the characters and stuff like that. And you get so much insight, especially on like characters like CL, Minoko, Lune, and like they're great. Like they really change how you interpret and read these characters.
Yeah.
Well, especially with certain actions they take in the game, it's amazing.
Yeah, well, I think...
And it also like will make like earlier like bits of dialogue that you'll like, because there's this one line that SKA says to a character, and you never understand the context for that until much later, but when you do, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, well, especially because I think as we mentioned, they have very realistic dialogue, but the thing is, these feel like very natural characters just reacting to like a crazy situation. Like, again, imagine you're faced with death and a ticking timer. Like, once it gets to that number and your age matches, you are gone. So like seeing how each of the characters copes with that and all their motivations for fighting as well is very interesting to see.
Oh yeah, that's great.
One of the things about them as well is that, like, yes, obviously they share the same goal of we need to save humanity, we need to stop the paintress, yada yada. But their personal motives are so unique and different compared to one another that it makes doing all of these like social links so much more investing, because you want to know what they're doing and why they're doing it. And knowing the prior context of the characters through these social links just gives you a better understanding of how they are as people, especially in the story. A lot of recontextualization, especially with characters such as Lune and CL, where they perform actions in cutscenes throughout the game, yet when you learn more about them through these social links, it recontextualizes a lot of those cutscenes where it's like, oh, that's why you did that. Dang.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like that one meme of like the guys like doing like the mock explosions, like the galaxy explodes in his head or something. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
I do know what you're talking about.
Awesome
Sauce.
There is one thing. There is one flaw I do have with this stuff, and it is that the like. Which I'll be honest, I don't know how they would have implemented it, but I really do feel like some of the like upper ranks, like rank 7 and stuff like that, like they should have been like somehow required. I don't know.
I feel like for some of the characters, no, but for a couple notable ones, which we'll get into in probably a spoiler section, very much yes.
All right, and I think that's a good way to say, hey, this next part is going to be very spoiler heavy, because we want to talk about some of the later game parts of the story, and you have been warned. I'm going to just go off and start us off. Yeah, Gustav fucking dies.
Not even halfway through the game, by the way.
In the first 8 to 12 hours, he is just gone, and it hurts.
That I think the reason why, and it's that's the reason we kept this so spoiled, like tried to go as far as we could without mentioning spoilers, because the entire game, in my opinion, the entire game works because of that scene of that, like, Gustav's death. If it's why Charlie Cox's performance is so important, because if you do not get emotionally invested and connected to Gustav, when he dies, that moment doesn't work, and then the rest of the game doesn't really work for you.
Well, I think as well, like, there are a lot of other RPGs as well that have handled, like, having some of their cast die, which obviously I'm not going to mention which one so I don't spoil anybody. But,
Fuck, I was about to say. I'm glad you said that. I was about to shout out something.
Don't say it, or I'm gonna Gustav you.
No.
I'm gonna Renoir you.
Yeah, I'm gonna Andy Serkis you.
Get Andy Serkis, idiot.
Yeah.
But yeah, the removal of the main character in the first act is a very important part in order to push certain character motivations, mainly Mael, because Mael is a very hot-headed person after Gustav's death, because she doesn't know why Andy Serkis killed her brother, father, familial figure. All she knows. What?
I'm sorry, just referring to him as Andy Serkis is so funny.
Damn
Yeah.
you, Andy Serkis.
Come on, Andy Serkis.
Not cool, man.
And then later on, we learn that Andy Serkis is Verso's father, and then
No!
Which,
Yeah.
by the way, I think that reveal is really funny. Like, when, like, looking back on it, because the guy that you've been with the whole game dies, and then this random guy just comes in and is like, oh, I'm the main character now.
yeah.
I will say with that, they do a very good job with the transition, because again, the death was necessary, but it is something that's going to be hard for the players to adjust to, because you need it on one hand, because it really does cement, like, how dangerous the expeditions are, and, like, why so many of them have failed, because you feel, like, pretty good and invincible up to that point, and then main character just fucking gets murked. But I think they do a really good transition with it, with Verso, because not only story-wise does he start to pick up on some of those notes that were left hanging, but also gameplay-wise, he's a good transitionary as well, because Guy mentioned this earlier of Verso works on a perfection system, sort of like Devil May Cry. But I think if you look at the overcharge system Gustav has, it's kind of just like a really simplified version of like what Verso has, because like you're trying to build up a certain thing to get it maxed out, so you can do certain actions that will do more damage. Verso's, I feel like, is just a more advanced version of that. Like, Gustav works as a good tutorial for his version, because Verso's is a bit punishing of, like, if you get hit, if you mess some shit up, your rank is going to go lower, whereas that isn't the case for Gustav. But Verso is also a lot more rewarding as well.
And that's also by design, because Gustav, everyone has a skill tree, and his skill tree has half the moveset locked. And you're like, oh man, I can't wait for Gustav to get like main character power up and get stronger. And then he just dies.
He's dead.
I remember talking to Guy about this, and that was my exact thing, is that I just thought, like, after a certain point, Gustav was just gonna get like some Super Saiyan power up and unlock all of his things. Same with because I'm pretty sure Mael also had some of hers locked.
Yes.
And then
yes, 3 of them: Stendhal, Painted Canvas, and then another one.
Yes. Sorry, real quickly, I need to tell this story super quickly. I had to gaslight the absolute shit out of Guy, because I was basically talking about Expedition 33, and I had mentioned Verso, and I was like, oh crap, wait a second, he doesn't know about Verso, he thinks Gustav is the main character. So I made up a lie that a mechanic in Act 2 of the game is characters will go on mini expeditions and like get you resources while you play with like other cast members in order to promote like build diversity, and that's why Gustav wasn't in the game.
me when I lie.
Yeah, so for context, we decided to hang out in Liam's dorm because I had my chem final in like 2 hours. And I was gonna study for it a little bit, but I wasn't just gonna it was a 101 class. Like I felt pretty confident in it, but I was still gonna study. But I was like, I'm gonna hang out with Liam. Why not? So he was like, I'm going to play Expedition 33, and I was like, okay, cool. You get a chance to show me what it's about because I'm interested. It sounds very cool. And then you showed me the combat, which I thought looked amazing, and I was like, okay, this might be heat.
And they
Gaslit the absolute fuck out of me.
And
So what?
volleyball. And gestural volleyball. I also showed
Oh
you
yeah, that's true. I do remember that. Dude, you gaslit the absolute fuck out of me, and I believed that shit. And what's so funny is that when the cutscene played for Gustav's death, I was like, oh, and he fucking dies. God damn it, I got.
The gaslighter turned into the gas lady.
It was.
Damn it, I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah, I stole your line, Connor. Eat shit.
It was such a proud moment for me because I was like, that was the most successful gaslight I think I have ever concocted. Guy got me back. He got me back with an incredible gaslight for a different game, which we won't get into because that's also spoilers. But that was my greatest gaslight, and it was also that he got even more shocked whenever Gustav died because he was fully expecting Gustav in Act 2.
Yeah, we didn't see that in Act 2. His name was mentioned in Act 2, but he wasn't there
a lot. Well, no, he was in Act 2.
His arm was.
Yeah, his arm. That's Gustav. He's right there.
He's in the little flower field after you fight Duiste.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say the area right after the Forgotten Battlefields, and also that boss, the Duelist, it fits very well for like what the player is feeling at the time because the tone is just like very grim. The music,
it's so somber.
Yeah, the music's very somber as well. And then you're just fighting all these characters in like a battlefield that's piled up with bodies, just like sinking in the fact even more of like how serious the expeditions are, especially with all the huge death toll. Because Gustav was just one of those people.
And the characters are very silent because it's just like they just CL and Lune just saw stuff happening up there and knew like it was bad, and then Mael has to break the news to them that Gustav just died, and those were like they were good friends with him.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, Lune and CL were Gustav's like childhood best friends, or at least like close enough to be that way.
Yeah.
Well, like,
which is so crazy.
It's a small civilization, so like everyone was very close, but like they were, I mean, they're similar ages, and so like they were very close.
I think it also just helps that like tone shift well, because up until that point, like obviously you had that beginning cutscene which is just super grim, but like after you move on for that, it's like pretty like for the most part pretty lighthearted.
Oh, with the gestuals.
Yeah, you go into the like water place, you find Mael, and then a little gestural dude comes running up and he's like, "Hi, I'm Noko," and then you go to the gestural village and everyone, and then you're just like fighting the arenas. Like you sort of just forget, like like obviously you still know, but it's not like on your. And then you meet Esquier, and so you're just like, oh, it's gonna be a happy adventure, and we're gonna stop the Paintress, and then it's like, no, this is not a lighthearted story.
Oh, that is done on purpose, especially since I remember in the gestural village where Lune like stops Gustav from like doing a fucking woe is me moment when he's like, I was going to, and then Luna was like, we don't have time for that. Like I love they purposely make it comedic too, because there's a fucking very, very big music shift, and I was like, okay, it's lighthearted. Like we're away from the dark stuff now. We're in a lighthearted, and then they hit you with that shit. Oh my god.
It also just hits so much harder because you just met Esquier.
True.
Esquier is like the most joyous creature ever, and then just immediately after you meet him and he starts doing all this wacky shit, that you just see a guy get fucking stabbed.
It's
so sad, dude.
Funny too, because like in the area where you first meet him, you can pick up a journal entry from one of the previous expeditions where the dude is pissed because Esquier was being a shitter and it got him all killed. Damn it, Esquier!
It's so funny. That's such a good character because he also does have like Esquier does have depth too, which is like, of course,
Yeah.
not as much as Verso or Mael, but he is like a multifaceted character. And
Oh yeah, especially since he's a construct of Verso. And I mentioned I love
Big
like thinking about this as well. That like Esquier is the construct of from a child. And I love imagining that like when Verso painted him, he wanted to make Esquier like the strongest being ever, but also like the kindest being, like the goodest being that could be, because it is canon that Esquier is the strongest being in the verse, besides the painters, of course. But like I love imagining that like Esquier is always going to be that person who's going to help Verso or just be on Verso's side, just because he was painted to be like that.
I also like how I don't think we ever once explained the painters and the painting
Well, I mean, at this
thing
point, it's
for
the
the-
spoiler section, so
Oh, I know. I just
Yeah,
find it
that
really
one
funny
doesn't-
we never explained that.
Yeah, like we don't really have to, because anybody who's here should know what we're talking about.
And if you don't, then get out.
Yeah.
Go play the game!
But like, I feel like we can just kind of be like, a lot of the game is very much it's a very introspective game, so us just explaining parts of the game isn't going to do much good, because it is a heavy game, especially that the later half of the game. It just gets with like the whole Mael being part of the family, the whole family itself just being like wrapped in grief, and how each one of them has different ways of dealing with that grief.
yeah, definitely.
And honestly, like they kind of go through the 5 stages of grief. I feel like it kind of is. Now, okay, sorry, I just can't. Like, I just had a revelation of like they are all very much different stages of grief.
Yeah, I mean, like denial, especially with
Aline.
yeah,
Aline, yeah.
She denies it so much she makes a painted Verso. Anger with
Probably Clair.
I was gonna say Renoir.
Yeah, no, Renoir
Is that-
is very.
Yeah.
Renoir's
I can see
a
that.
multifaceted character, which
He's kind of, he is, man. See, exactly. We're discussing it, and we shouldn't. This is not the episode to get into it. I think we gotta lock in, and we gotta paint our concluding thoughts first, and then maybe we make another episode where we just yap about Expedition 33.
we'll see. Before we do that, I do just want to mention with Renoir, that comment I made from Andy Serkis. The thing he said in specific was like his role as a father is what made him like so attached to Renoir as a character, which again I didn't understand at the time, but now that I played through the game, like I understand it more and more, because as you go through the game, like you see a couple characters, you think of them as antagonists, like Paintress, obviously, and then Renoir later, but I don't think there's ever really a true villain in the game. There's characters definitely with very questionable actions, but I don't think any of them are like truly villains, because all of them are doing it out of like a big part of it is like the grief as well. Expedition 33 story is a story about like grief and the effects it can have on people.
And it's fun to think about too,
I
because
completely agree.
it's fun to think about that too, because it's also like the game it does this on purpose because of the different act structures and switching protagonists, like depending on the point in the game. You're supposed to think about it through the multiple perspectives of who is affected by grief, because grief isn't one person grieving isn't the one person that's being affected by it. The people who are affected by that one grief is not only the person experiencing it, but also the people around them who have to help them, who have to deal with them, who might receive the negative consequences, who might have to, with the family members, the children, etc. And that's what I think, like, that's so like thoughtful about Expedition 33, is that like there's so many factors in play that are being affected because of a singular conflict.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because Verso died.
Yep. Fight.
Like, look, we already said the spoiler stuff, so I don't care.
No, that's fair. That's fair. All right.
Yeah, no.
I think with that though, I think we can start moving into concluding points. Who wants to go first?
Oh
I can go
God,
first.
I think Liam should go last. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think. we
Man,
should
I
go
wonder
last.
why.
I think it's because he hates this game.
Yeah, Liam hates this game.
But I can go first.
Go, Connor.
Yeah. So, for my concluding points, all I'll say is that I really do like Expedition 33. I do think it's 10 out of 10. It's not one of my favorites, but I do think it's really, really good, especially for the circumstances behind it, which we talked about earlier. And I think for like what the team was composed of and what the situations they had to go through, for them to make something this good is genuinely, like, I genuinely respect that a lot. And I do have a few flaws with it, but I still do really like it, but just not as much as our good friends Guy and Liam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'll go next, and then guy can go after me. But overall, Expedition 33 is an absolutely fantastic RPG. It takes a lot of inspiration from a lot of different RPGs over the years, and it also does a lot to like stand on its own as well. It has very interesting and fantastical world. Its music is a banger, and it has very intuitive and like addictive combat as well. So I cannot recommend this game enough, and especially for the writing as well. Because while I do have some issues with the writing, especially a lot of the way Act 3 was handled, it's still a fantastic experience, and even like my biggest complaints with the game don't detract too much from the overall experience. So overall, like, I am very pleased with this game, and I just gotta applaud the dev team for what they did as well. That and Kepler Interactive for funding it as well. So, yeah.
True. Hell yeah, that's what's up, man. Alright, time for my points. Sometimes I feel like this game was made just for me. It literally has everything that I want in a video game. Outstanding combat, beautiful story, excellent exploration, fun lore, and the most important thing, it's thought-provoking. And for all these reasons combined, it is currently my 6th favorite game of all time. It might be number 5. I don't know. Liam wants it to be number 5 so bad. I know he does. But I must say, this game is a one of a kind. I do get that a lot of people are annoying about it, especially on Twitter, saying it's the second coming of Christ. However, I do feel like this game is pushing a lot for the medium forward. It is a showcase of what indie studios can put out. It is a showcase of how excellent combat can be depending on how you execute it. It can be and is an excellent example of very, very different means of storytelling, and very weird ones too, that all work in such an... It's just... There's so many moving parts in this game that work congruently to make one of the best games I have ever played. It is currently the most nominated game ever at Jeff Keighley's Game Awards, and I'm gonna be real, it deserves it for everything that it does. There is so much about this game that we haven't talked about in this video that I do want to talk about, but just for time's sake we can't. But just know, if there is a game that you want to play, that's not full price, by the way, this is $50, that you want to play, that you want to get as much satisfaction out of as possible, that is something that will intrigue you and invest you for months on end, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is right there.
And now we have Liam.
Hello everybody. I like this game a lot. It is currently in my top 2, and it's not number 2. This is my favorite game. I know it came out this year, and like some might say that's too early, but this game, like Guy said, it has everything I could ever want from a video game, and most of that does just come down to like the score of this game is genuinely like generational. Like I cannot get enough of it. The writing of it is spectacular. I have gone through and watched old like old some parts of the game and gone back and like they are completely recontextualized, and like every single character has a really good amount of depth to them, where like there is so much symbolism, there is so much good character writing where like I just can't get enough of it. And I'm an English major. I eat this stuff up all the time. The combat is really fun. I was a turn-based denier, and I mean I played P5R. I played a couple turn-based RPGs, but now my favorite game is an RPG or turn-based RPG, and it is absolutely amazing. I can't talk enough about the character writing, but like this is one of the most thought-provoking games I have played, where I beat the game in May and I'm still thinking about it almost daily. Every day there's something where I'm like, man, I don't know what to think, because it's that good, and we're only getting more, and that's so good. I think this game is incredibly deserving of all the praise it's getting. Some people glaze it too much, and that's okay. It's the internet. People are always gonna be super skyrocket with this is the second coming of Christ, or this expa mid shit 30p. Like you get two sides of the same coin. I absolutely adore this game. I think it was an absolute incredible showing of what an indie studio is capable of. I think it's incredibly deserving of all the accolades it's getting, because it is just an incredibly polished piece of content, and it is incredibly worth it. I got all of my money's worth. I pre-ordered this game I think a day before it came out, started it, and I cried within the first hour of the game. And I also cried at this game like 6 different times, because it hit me everywhere that it mattered. And I cannot say it enough how much this game now means to me, and how important this game will continue to mean for me, because it is everything I want and more. And like I understand there are valid criticisms of the game, but I think those are so minute in the grand scheme of things, where like all the criticisms of the game, especially there was like one that warranted is I don't think the best, which is a different conversation. I think overall it has so many overwhelmingly positive traits that any negatives are just obsolete. And it all just comes down to they wanted to make a story, they had a vision, and they made almost all of that vision and put it out, and they're like, oh man, this did so well, let's give people more of what they want. And it's pure cinema. I'm doing the pure cinema with my hands right now as I talk about this game, because it is very special to me now. And whenever I replay this game in the future, I will probably love it just as much.
Awesome.
Anyway,
that's telling, man. Dude, this game has moved us.
This game.
I love it too. I think everyone here understands how much it means to us, and just how, again, this is an amazing video game. But like those who gomage, we must conclude the video. So Liam, take us away.
All right. Make sure you like for those who come after, and comment what age you would gomage at. And
what
finally,
age you would kill yourself at?
What age you would kill yourself. And my final point, 100 minus 33 is 67. That is how long Renoir was in the canvas. He was in there for 67 years. And with that, we are FetchQuest. Goodbye.
But also, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to subscribe,
or else you'll get
gomaged at an early age instead of 90.
You'll get an Andy Serkis through the chest.
True. All right. Thank you all for watching. Bye bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.